Good morning. I am having a tough time getting motivated today. This will be my 6th day of travel, and I understand that it's a lot to keep up the energy for that many days in a row. I was also awakened at 3 a.m. and was not able to go back to sleep, so I've been up since 3, and I did go get my coffee. Oh, I have it right here. I went down, there's a continental breakfast with this place. Continental breakfast with a side of ghosts. Anyway, I was thinking today about the syncing up of life back in Alaska. And if you're coming from the East Coast, it's not that big of a difference. But for Alaska, it's a 10-hour time difference, which is basically, the flip side of a day. And I was thinking about, as I laid awake and stared at the ceiling at 4 a.m., I was thinking, wow, this is potentially an issue. This could be a thing of not being able to sync up with life. And it made me think about work, and I do want to work remotely, and how I will be able to work for a company where daily operations is a huge deal, and being on the pulse of daily operations. So I think it would really cause me to make some different changes than I had considered, that it's literally the opposite of the day. And so that's something I was thinking about as I laid awake. And the other thing is, when you get here, remembering that, who gets to call you at 3 a.m.? Who gets access? That, yes, I know everybody in the comments will say, well, just put your phone on Do Not Disturb. My phone is on Do Not Disturb. But you have your one person or several people that are on your main contacts. You can choose the people that are starred, and those are the people that get to call you pretty much anytime. And if they call you or text you 2 times in a row, it will start ringing through because it assumes that there is an emergency. And I thought, gosh, do I give up having that constant access to people back home? Do I not allow that to be a thing where if there is an emergency, somebody calls me to let me know that in the middle of the night? Things to consider when you are in a different time zone, a drastically different time zone. I am in Bordeaux today. It is my last full day here. I'm going to venture out. I got this cool little map. It's written in such tiny, itty-bitty little ant. It's a map for ants that I don't know that it will be much use, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. And I'm going to walk over to that direction, which is where the tourism office is, and see if I can catch the boat that goes over to the wine thing. Again, I'm not going to fit in because I don't have any fall colors. These are my always colors. I'll take you along and we'll see where the day takes us. And I might just end up back here taking a nap. Okay, it's almost 5. I left the room earlier today and I walked over to the tourism office. I got myself a 24-hour pass. I then was instructed how to catch the little tram over to the wine museum, Cite de Vin, and I immediately got on the wrong tram. And then I didn't realize it until I'd driven past the right one, and I was like, oh, that's the one. So I got off at the next stop and just walked back, because literally the stops are about a 5-minute walk apart. Got on the correct tram, went to the wine museum, which was lovely. I think the whole purpose of Bordeaux is to be day drunk all the time, because with my pass, I also was entitled to a glass of wine. And by the time I was leaving, it was, I don't know, 11 something. And I was like, I cannot drink any more wine. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah. Anyway, and then as part of my city pass, which was 36 euro, by the way, you get all day on any public transportation. You get free entry into a whole bunch of different museums, including the wine museum, and you got your choice of one of 3 special tours, and I opted for the boat. I don't know why. When I'm feeling a little out of sorts, I always try to get on the water. Anyway, so I got back from the wine museum quite early, and I still had time, and I was about that close to coming back to the room and just taking a nap. But I thought, no, I gotta keep walking. But it was so long before I had to catch the boat at 3 that I decided to just get on one of the tram lines and ride it to the end. So I got on a tram line, and I figured, whichever one takes you to the very end, you're going to see real neighborhoods, you're going to see grocery stores, you're going to see the real people. And I did. It literally only took like 30 minutes to get to the end of the line. And then I just stayed on that same train. The driver got out of the cockpit of the train, walked to the other end, got on the other side of the train cockpit, and started going back. So by the time I kind of walked around, I did a lot of walking around, just randomly losing myself down streets. And by the time I got back to where I was supposed to catch the boat, it was like 2:30, which is perfect. So I caught the boat, and that was lovely. The river is the color of a macchiato, something like that. Anyway, and I got caught in the rain one time, so that wasn't bad. This is rain hair. And then I got back from the boat tour, and I'm hungry but not hungry, so I saw gelato, and I have not had gelato in years, so I stopped and got 2 scoops of gelato. The green is chocolate chip mint, which is as good as it sounds, and then the white is banana caramel. So good. So good. Anyway, so now I'm back at the room. It started to rain again, so I was kind of dodging the rain. A couple of things that I did today while I was just on the train was I moved up my pickup time for my car tomorrow. I decided to pick it up at 8:30. Now that I'm here and I see that it's not going to take me that long to get to Gare de Saint-Jean, which is where the budget rent-a-car is. I'm going to pick up the car at 8:30 so I can leave here at 8. They serve continental breakfast at 7. So I'll get up. I will go get breakfast, get ready, and head out. And now I am a master of the rail line in Bordeaux. So I'm going to finish this and I might get back to you. I might not. Highlight of the day was definitely the bizarrely oversized Yorkie that sat on his mom's lap for the entire boat ride, which you've already seen in the video. But there are dogs everywhere. I swear, everywhere you go, people have their dogs with them. Like, there were multiple dogs on this boat trip. I would never in a million years dream of taking like Psycho Marcus on a boat. For one thing, he would probably crap in the middle of the boat tour. And it's just so amazing. Like, people just take their dogs everywhere and I love it. I love it. Okay, a couple of things I wanted to mention for anybody that's coming to Bordeaux, which I learned yesterday, that one of the pictures that I just featured was like a pedestrian walkway that goes, like, it's a huge shopping promenade. And my hotel is literally like 20 feet off of that shopping promenade. And this city is literally just dedicated to pedestrian walkways. So I tend to call Uber when I get someplace, just, I don't know, because it's easier and you don't have to have cash and I don't know. But anyway, so I called an Uber when I got to Bordeaux a couple of days ago. And the guy took me, but he didn't take me all the way to the hotel. And he's just like, oh, it's just down there and over there. I was like, oh, okay. And I walked, which was fine. It was literally only like a 5-minute more walk. But what I learned from my tour guide, which I thought would be interesting for people to know who are coming here, is that Uber is not allowed within the pedestrian zone in Bordeaux. And they tell you, he said they'll give you all these excuses as to why they can't take you the whole way, but it's really because they are not allowed to go into the pedestrian zone. Taxis, on the other hand, are allowed to go into the pedestrian zone. So if you really want to get someplace that's like in the central location where all the pedestrian places are, you got to catch a taxi. Yeah, I found that really fascinating. And they have these, like the van that we were on for the tour, he had a little button and there's like a post that comes up out of the concrete so you cannot go down these streets. And so he was able to click it and the little thing just goes down into the concrete and he's able to drive out because he's allowed within that zone. Anyway, I thought that was fascinating and a good tip for anybody who might be coming to Bordeaux. I think I'm going to call it a night. I know that it's still very early, but I'm going to pack. And I got to pack again. Yeah, it was a really informative day in Bordeaux. I learned a lot about the city. And yeah, not my vibe. I think it would be a lovely city to visit, but I wasn't vibing with it. Anyway, I'm really eager to get to Villeneuve-sur-Lot and to a smaller town. So far, I've just been in Paris and Bordeaux, which are like the biggest cities in France. So, cities are very isolating. The language barrier is isolating. And even though I know that I won't be isolated when I move back, I still think that I would have that same sense. Yeah, I don't know if the city is my vibe. I think that if we were in a town that was close enough to hospitals and, good infrastructure, I don't think I would need to be in a big city like this. So, yeah. Anyway, something to ponder. All right. Until tomorrow. Bonsoir.